I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins. Welcome to Dr. Boyce and Nomalanga. I'm here with Nomalanga Mushali Moses from HealthyBlackWoman.com. How are you doing today, Noma?
I'm doing great, boys. How are you?
I'm doing really well. You're down there in Botswana, and I'm excited because I'm going to be pretty close to where you are. I'm going to South Africa tomorrow, so we're all getting a chance to spend time in the motherland. That's pretty cool.
That's great stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And speaking of black and all things black and beautiful and wonderful, Viola Davis, who is a favorite actress amongst many people of color, or many people around the world, not just people of color, she said something that kind of surprised people at the Oscar nominations. She says it's been a battle since she was nominated for an Oscar. And that was kind of surprising because people always assume that if you get nominated for an Oscar, if you win one, that your life is going to be wonderful. And here's some of what she said. I'll read the quote to you. Um, there's the reality of being an actor, especially after two Academy Award nominations. And there's the fantasy. People oversimplify it by saying, start a production company, get your own stuff going on, as if it's that easy. I've had a production company for years. We've had great projects coming up, but it's been a battle, okay? At the same time, you have to stay relevant because you have to be bankable to the foreign market. And then she also says, um, I knew, let's see, she talks about how to get away with murder and joining that. She says, I knew it would have a great time slot, and I knew I would be a lead in a TV show. I'd get to play a role that's sexualized, messy, all of those things I never get to play, and at the same time, I can be relevant. So that's kind of the extent of her quote, but I think what a lot of people grabbed onto is, her remark about it sort of being a battle since the Oscar nominations, which kind of surprised me. What did you think when you saw that?
Yeah, what she said really resonated with me because I am one of those people who kind of decided that, okay, I'm gonna start my own thing and see how things work out. I've learned a lot of lessons along the way. And I did agree with what she said, where she's like, look, I am doing my own thing. But actually, when I wrote that article and I put those quotes, they also put a lesson at the end about money making. And I was talking generally to women. I was like, she's actually making a very good point, and she's demonstrating an excellent lesson. She's saying, okay, look, I am doing my own thing. I'm building my own thing. But while I'm relevant here and I have the exposure and I'm having the income, I'm using that to build my own thing. So don't just say to me, why don't you start your own thing? I am doing my own thing. And I think that's an excellent lesson because you're also an entrepreneur, and sometimes there's this fantasy that you can just dump your job and then go, and then because you're doing your own thing, you run into a whole bunch of money. But no, there's a lot of work that goes into that, and I think that's part of what she's talking about, where she's saying it's a battle, you got to fight. And then when you don't have the support of Hollywood and all their money and all the many years of experience that they've had, it's a big battle to end up in a position where you're doing well, you're doing what you love, you're supporting yourself, and maybe even supporting other people, and you're still staying, above water.
Well, I think that, yeah, the more I look at her quote about it being a battle, I don't see it as her saying that she's really suffering. I see it as her saying, okay, this is hard work. I'm still doing it. I'm still pushing, and I'm still trying to maintain my relevance in Hollywood as a segue into developing my own stuff. Now, I don't agree with what she said about having to be bankable in a foreign market. I think being bankable in a foreign market can be helpful, but I'm not sure how necessary that always is. And I guess I only say that because I think sometimes we have unrealistic expectations when we start our own stuff. Part of the reason that many African Americans don't create their own businesses is because they think they failed if they can't make as much money as the white guy down the street. But that white business down the street may have been around for 100 years. You may have been around for 5 years, so you're not going to have
Right.
the same revenue. You're not going to have the same level of success and all these other things. But you're planting a seed, and when you plant a seed, it grows. But it grows slowly, and the company may never become as big as you want. It may not become. It may never become as big as you want during your lifetime. But the thing
Right.
is that it's yours, and you can pass it down to your kids and your grandkids, and they can build it into something bigger. And so, because the thing is that that big company down the street wouldn't exist if someone 50, 100 years ago hadn't planted a seed for the future. And I guarantee you, when they first planted that seed, it wasn't very big. When the first seeds were planted to create Hollywood, Hollywood wasn't making, $300 billion a year or whatever crazy amount of money they make. They weren't making that kind of money. They were making pennies. They were struggling, and I think that that struggle is very important. So I like what Viola's doing. I just hope that more actors and actresses in Hollywood will not just create their own production companies, but look into the development of their own distribution systems. So they're not saying to themselves, "Okay, I want to create this great film so I can go sell it back to this white guy, and hopefully he'll give me the money so that I can feel successful by getting millions of dollars for my project." Maybe you can put it out, and instead of making millions of dollars, you make a few $100,000, but but you're creating new channels, new pathways to your marketplace, a whole new business model, as opposed to just making yourself a spin-off of what's already there in Hollywood, because we know Hollywood just doesn't work for black people.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you entirely. Another thing is you can start to reshape what we're accepting. You know, we've had enough conversations about talking about, oh, but look at the image that they're putting us off over there. Oh, but look at this, look at that. But the thing about it is when you have something of your own, it may not be as big as Hollywood or mainstream TV or whatever it is, but you're getting a chance to reshape what's being put out there. You're changing the conversation, and you're independent, and you're also probably helping people in your community and other Black people who also want a chance that maybe they didn't get. So I completely agree with you. And another thing that I was going to say about it is I think I also said it and you said it before is yeah, you're not going to be as big as the guy who started his company or whose great great grandfather started it. You're at the beginning and you have to look at it that way, and understand that it's not just about you, it's about whoever's going to, carry the torch after you leave this earth or whatever. And then your family's got something that they can take from you and keep building and so on. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So, I wish Viola Davis the best. I think that she's
Me too.
obviously a very talented actress, and and I feel that she's a very successful actress. I just, am hopeful that we can really emphasize the importance of really teaching our children just different ways of thinking about making money, different ways of measuring success. Stop measuring your success by how many white people applaud for you, how many white people give you money, because that's just not a healthy way to look at your success as a person of color. Because in many cases, that so-called success, that money, those stupid awards they give, it comes at a huge cost. It comes at a cost of dehumanizing ourselves, putting out garbage to our own people, and just doing these things that not only make us economically dependent, but just really make us a little bit pathetic at the end of the day. And I think that your dignity should not be sold for any price. And I think that there are ways to make a lot of money and still be proud of who you are, still respect yourself and your people in a way that is productive and happy and healthy and whole. And that's what I would love to see.
Absolutely. And that's the word that I was going to use to say dignity. Absolutely. There's a way to stay above the water and maintain your dignity.
Absolutely. There you go. There you go. Well, you are a dignified person.
Thank you.
Former Mrs. Botswana. Now, I heard a rumor that you're thinking about going back into the beauty pageant game at some point. Is that true?
Well, it's never, since they introduced these Mrs. pageants, and I plan on being married forever, anything can happen.
Okay, all right. Well, when you win Mrs. World, just don't forget about us little people when you make it to the top, and we'll support you all the way. So thank you very much, Noma. I appreciate it.
Thank you, boys.
Absolutely, everybody. This is Nomalanga and Moses from HealthyBlackWoman.com. I am Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World. Until we meet again, please stay strong, be blessed, and be educated. We are gone. Peace.